Are you worried that you might miss the ascension, the fifth dimension, the end of the earth is coming? We keep hearing about 2025 being big changes, and you aren't sure. Does that mean I need to do big changes? Do other people make big changes? Is the world going to change? Am I going to be safe? Will we survive? Of course, these are the questions that come up. That kind of conversation, those kind of messages are scary. But my name is Sonia Choquette. First of all, if you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. I'm really excited maybe showing up today with a big change for you. But we are talking about today, I've been talking about for a while, probably for 50 years actually, the planetary shift that we're undergoing. It's well underway. Every which way we look, it's like this, and you too, you're collapsing too, and everything that we thought was so certain is collapsing. And there's a lot of things right now going up and popping up on the planet that we think, is this it? Is this the new experience? Don't be fooled. Everything's a bit temporary right now. But we're talking about the big changes in you that are really going to make your own ascension and your own evolution beautiful. My name's Sonia Choquette. Again, thank you for coming. Let's get right to it. Now, big changes are coming. Well, what does that mean? Now, for a lot of us, they've already been coming and they have not been pleasant. Some of us have been in the worst of conditions. Some of us have been in crisis and in threats and in violence and in war, and for those, we just need to all have compassion, and we need to contribute to the peace and this reassurance and the nurturing of those who are suffering to the best of our ability. I know a whole lot of people are having their foundations collapse. My job's gone. Whoa, I didn't do anything. All of a sudden, my job's gone. Whoa, wait a second. All of a sudden, my partner walked out. Whoa, all of a sudden my identity left and I don't even know who I am anymore. Those are part of the big changes, because what is happening is a huge sort of, let's call it a galactic chiropractic adjustment, where what's not in balance for our soul is now being made to be in balance. And one of those things is to realize that A, I'm responsible for my life, but B, the good news, I can be. I can make my life, my security, my health, my body, my finances work. They're not controlled by outside forces. I may have been under the illusion or the impression or the hypnosis of that, but even if I've been in something for 50 years, it seemed all secure and all of a sudden isn't, doesn't mean you're screwed, so to speak, pardon me, but doesn't mean you just have to take it on the chin. It means you have to get creative. That is the gift of all the drama, is you are being invited to get creative. So if something occurs that really throws you off, have your reaction. That's normal. Our security likes predictability. Our egos don't like to be thrown off our game. It is normal. But don't get stuck there. Make a choice. What are you going to do different? What are you going to do that is different? I remember right after COVID, I got vaccination, several types. And I have no problem with, I have no opinion on that, but I had a reaction. And my reaction was one that was pretty bad. It was all of a sudden really affecting my nerves. And I went to a doctor in London, who said to me, "I'm sorry, pretty much you're screwed." And I said, "Stop talking. I don't want to hear you." And he thought I was truly nuts. Now, I'm used to that because I am an intuitive and outspoken public one, so everybody has called me nuts. Not everybody, but the majority of the world has interpreted me as nuts. I said, "Look, I appreciate that from your world, I have no choice but to just submit to this experience and suck it up, but I don't agree. What you're telling me is what you know, but it's not all there is to know." And I took a different approach. I really did a deep dive, and I was scared. I had to find other ways to deal with this other than just say, too bad. And you know what? I did. I went to alternative healing. I went to acupuncture. I did meditation. I went to therapy. And guess what? My nerves recovered. Miracle. But that's what this is all about. Whatever that horrible thing is that's happening to you brings with it a huge invitation to reclaim your capacity to choose how your life will unfold instead of just react while others are choosing for you. So there is light in the tunnel of this big global disruption. The second thing that you want to pay attention to, and this is an important one, you might get some inner guidance to do something very different than what your normal routine is. Very different. And your ego might say, you don't do that. You gotta do that. For example, I have a beautiful online community called the Vibe Tribe, where I check in every day. We work together. They work with one another to continue to raise vibration and affirm consciousness and intuition and help one another work through difficulties. And several people on the Vibe Tribe who were, this is so out of their wheelhouse, said, I'm going to walk the Camino de Santiago. We're going to go on a pilgrimage. Hooray. I know when I went, it was out of my wheelhouse too. But if you get that kind of guidance to do something very different, do it. Say yes. Another client of mine said, I want to move to Italy for 6 months. Do you think I can? I said, yeah. Dive in and go for it. And don't go for hoping. Go for it because your spirit said so. Your spirit will show you the way. Another client of mine said, I want to sell my farm and I have horses and I want to move to Mexico to be with my sister who's been there for 20 years. But this is where I am. This is where I've been for 20 years. Say yes. You're not getting these inspirations to just torment you, and they're not to be shooed away like flies. We are being given invitations to not just do something different, but to become something different. I have one client who got laid off from her job and she did not expect it because she was, ace ventura, number one employee, just shocked her. But the company she worked for was purchased by another owner. It was a small design firm and she got let go. She could not believe it. She was so incensed. And after I said, be incensed, work that out, go for a walk, move it out, scream, take boxing. But don't accept that as the end result. What's the gift here? What's the invitation? And for her, it was to do something she had been being inclined to do for 20 years, which is to start her own design practice. And she was just scared to assume that was so much responsibility for herself. And I get it if you're not used to it, but don't let that stop you. So she did. She started her own firm. She lived off unemployment while she started her own firm. And within 2 years, she was self-sustaining. And those clients from her old job followed her and brought more. So it does look like we're reaching dead ends, but just on this road. Pivot, turn, but more than change your behavior. Maybe it's time to change your identity. Maybe it's time to be a different version of you. Someone that isn't so controlling or so shut down or so overgiving to others or so put everyone else or so just stuck in the mundane and boring. If you are meeting a disruption, and believe me, the whole world is pretty much meeting a disruption, what would you like to do that your ego brain says, not possible, can't do that, not possible? Be interested in that first. Take a pilgrimage. One of my clients said she and her husband decided that they were going to buy motorcycles, and they're like in their late 60s, and just their house, they were just going to lock it up, have someone check on it every other week, and go on a motorcycle ride across America. Then she said, who knows, maybe we'll double up and go across Canada. Why not? The thing is, our worlds have been locked down, and it hasn't allowed our spirit to lead. And when your spirit is leading, you're happy. When your spirit is leading, you're happy. When your spirit is leading, you are a happy force for others. Can you imagine what kind of a planet we'd be in if everyone's spirit took over? or even half of us, even 25%. So that's what this disruption's about. It is the end. But maybe it's the end of the unhappy, boring, tiresome identity you've been stuck in or straddled with. Doesn't even belong to you. I guess saddled with, not straddled with. But just, you know what I'm saying. I'm saying that let's not just hunker down and expect an asteroid to hit us. That's just old story fear. Let's see, are we really afraid to let go of an identity that we're not enjoying? That is the end of the world that maybe you need to look at. I know that I did when I left Chicago and moved to Paris. That was the end of my world there. And I had a comfortable world. I lost everything that was comfortable. But I gained a new life and I gained a new me. I wrote about it in a book called Waking Up in Paris. If you want a little inspiration, or if you're inspired to do something different, I also wrote a book about my inspiration to walk the Camino. It's called Walking Home. So waking up in Paris and walking home might be an avenue to listen to or read to kind of get you to say yes to those inner urges and yearnings that say it's time for a new life. It is. It's time for a new you. So let's not just sit and quake and shake at what's crumbling. Even now as I speak, I know in my own life, it's going to be a new life for me again, for all of us. We can't get complacent. But all this shake, rattle, and roll isn't to torment us. It does torment our egos for sure, and it does make us scared in terms of survival, but it wakes up the spirit. My mother used to say, and it certainly wasn't her comment, but her words, but it was definitely what she embraced, necessity is the mother of invention. So no matter what you're looking at and no matter what happened to you, necessity is inviting your spirit to let a new you come out. Don't have to duct tape the old together. There's been so many traumatic losses. So maybe sit quietly. Do I put the old back or do I do something brand new? If I'm fortunate enough to still be here, I have a choice. Do I put the old back or do I do something brand new? It is 2025 and it is an invitation to do something brand new. So that is a huge message for now and how to be in the process of this transformational world. Don't wait for the outer world to collapse and then you react. If your own world is rocking and rolling and there are earthquakes going on both in the outer world of you or the inner self, lean in, ask yourself, what have I denied that I really want to express? What part of me have I denied that says, help, let me out, let me out? It's time. That's the new you. That is the new 2025 ascension to the new you. You have every bit of the ability to say yes or determine the outcome. That's my message for this week. If you're new to my channel, I love that you're here. So glad. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If you really liked it, please subscribe because we are on the Ascension ride and nobody gets left behind. All my love, and I'll see you next week. Bye, everyone.